Heartland Trophy Week as the Badgers 5-3 get set to take on the Iowa Hawkeyes, also 5-3. Iowa 3-point favorites at home this week. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Adam Mertz, sort of. We'll get to that in a moment. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day presented by Coors Light. When you need refreshment on game day, choose a beer that's cold as the Rockies, cold filtered, cold lagered, cold packed, and it's ready for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do, and that's crush a Coors Light 2024 Coors Brewing Company. Mertzy, you're not here with me. What's going on with that?
Gee, I am cruising at a reasonable speed down Highway 12 after a monumental Badgers small conference girls swim meet.
All righty. I know that
can't wait to join you for pregame.
Fantastic. Well, we're excited to have you here at Liberty Station American Tavern. We are just off the Beltline and Rimrock Road. It's fantastic. We've got food on the way. We've got all sorts of good vibes coming up over here. But I'm curious, this is kind of where the season gets scary for me, right? We knew we could have pretty much called each one of these games to this point a wash. We knew the games we were supposed to win. We knew the games we were supposed to lose. This is where it gets interesting. And yes, obviously everyone would have liked to beat USC, as we've seen kind of them fall apart over the course of the season. But we're on to now, and this is where it gets intense. How are you feeling as we get ready for what is maybe the most important game of the season to this point, Mertzy?
Yeah, you were so spot on, and we were all kind of anticipating this, potential for a signature win and the quest for a signature win under Luke Fickell, and even going back a few years into Badger football lore, and it just has not happened. But what they need to do right now is to forge an identity as a team who can beat the teams that are on the same level with them. These 50-50 games that are coming up down the stretch. You got today, you got Nebraska, you got Minnesota. The narrative for the rest of the season pivots on today's game. This is either something, a fulcrum that can catapult the Badgers into that, sort of like next tier competition in the Big Ten, or odds are, after a loss to Oregon in 2 weeks, they are looking at the same situation as they faced last year, 5-5, heading into the final two games against two rivals that are better. Not a position I'd want to be in if I'm Luke Fickell and the Badgers.
No, absolutely not. 844-770-3776 is your way into the show. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light. I'm Alex Gravatt. That's Adam Mertz. We have primetime Ryan Wollersheim, the normal producer of Jim, Matt, and Molly live in the ESPN Madison Everlight Solar Studios. In Mertzy, I'm curious about this. I mentioned that this is kind of where it gets scary for the Badgers. It was Halloween on Thursday. When you were looking at Halloween, were you celebrating this weekend, or was that a last weekend activity for you?
It was definitely a night up. Those Thursdays are weird, aren't they? I mean, I thought that I actually thought there'd be a lot more Halloween out in force at the tailgate at our big ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day tailgate last week, and it was more like I think people were just so glued into this game that they didn't really get into the spirit. So I think we might have kind of missed the whole Halloween thing in terms of football celebrations. But Kinnick Stadium at night is pretty darn spooky, don't you think?
Yeah, for Badgers, absolutely. Though our good friend Ryan Wollersheim kind of brought up some stats. The last 10 games between Badgers and Iowa at Kinnick Stadium, Wisconsin is 6-4. So they have the tiebreaker. However, the last 4 games between the two teams, regardless of where it's held, Iowa's had the edge, right? They've been 3-1 in the last 3 games. Badgers have been struggling. This is a super important game, but is it going to be one of those games that is just a slog, bogged down, and 10-9 is a lot of the things I've seen people projecting the score to be? Real low scoring, ugly, and just difficult. Do you think that's going to be the case once again?
We'll save some suspense for score predictions, right? But let's talk about like the style of play and everything. Yeah, I mean, like these two teams, I always thought of it as like cousin versus cousin wrestling in the mud. And I guess now that'd be like the black rubber pellets at Kinnick since they put turf in. But it just felt like two programs that were so similar, kind of built on 3-star athletes that you develop up and groom for a few years and slide them into, more senior positions and starting positions. And it's just a tussle, and everything is just so, so much is done in the trenches in these games. Not a lot of flash and dash, a lot of just grind it out, be disciplined, don't make mistakes, and whoever, blinks first, whoever flinches first, to use Barry Alvarez's term, is going to lose that game. And I expect more of that tonight. I think that there might be some points scored tonight, but it's going to be the same kind of like tussle feel.
Absolutely. You mentioned Barry Alvarez. We'll get into some of what he had to say. The former UW athletic director joins the Great Dane Huddle every Monday night. Usually I'm the host, but this past week Jesse Nelson jumped in, and so instead of getting to talk to him about what he was saying, I'm going to talk to you, Mertz, about what he was saying. But prime time, you're back in the ESPN Madison Everlight Solar Studios. As you get ready for this game, watching and being the fan that you are, how are you feeling? Are you feeling optimistic as the Badgers have been battle tested to this point and lost the games they were supposed to lose, won the games they were supposed to win? Or are you feeling like this is going to be the punch in the face, the reality check for this Badgers team?
I think it's interesting for you to say that they're battle tested necessarily. They showed some good fight in that first half against Penn State, and then obviously the Braden Locke pick six swung the game, and from there it was never within reach again. Even though the score was close, it felt like the classic Wisconsin game where they're trailing just by a little against a team that's more talented and better than them, and they just couldn't close the gap. And I would say in some of the other games, USC was probably the next best team where they played well with. But once again, they just fold sort of in the second half. Fold is a tough word, but that's what happened. I mean, they gave up a double-digit lead going into that halftime. So I don't feel like this is one of those games where they have a significant talent disadvantage against Iowa, though I am worried that Iowa is one of those teams that isn't flashy. They're gritty and grindy, and it's just been working for them for 30 years. It's the thing that Wisconsin wanted to go away from, and that's why they brought in Luke Fickell and Phil Longo. But as of right now, what Iowa's doing, sticking with their 30-year program, they're still able to do what they've always been able to do. And that's a really tough obstacle to overcome because they're going to play great defense, awesome special teams, and the offense will get it done, especially with the running back they have right now. So I'm more worried as a fan that, I don't know, is Wisconsin ready for this kind of matchup given where they are in their program rebuild under Luke Fickell? Or is this a moment where they're just still like a step away from truly being able to compete with the other peers in the Big Ten that they used to be able to dominate most year in and year out?
Yeah, and hey, I think that there's something to be said about that. I don't know if necessarily this is a smash. I don't think that the Badgers are going to get as smashed as we think. And you said you don't know if the Badgers were battle tested, right? They were tested. I've failed tests in my life, but I still took the test, right? So I think that the amount of grit and tough teams that they've had to play really does add up to building towards a good end of season. Mertz, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is really an interesting situation they find themselves in because I agree. They just haven't had the horsepower or the finish to put teams away, and it seems like, and I've said this before, that's a team that kind of just maybe doesn't know quite how to win yet in some of these games. Someone's got to make a play. I think what it boils down to is someone's got to make a play because the flip side, and what I will say that I have seen is, got demolished by Alabama, just absolutely demolished. Went out to USC and you thought, is this going to be, what team's going to show up? And it came out lights out against USC. I expect that it's going to be kind of more of the same this week. I mean, you look at the bright side of last week, and it was really almost 3 quarters that they were toe-to-toe with Penn State. And as we said, as Primetime said, it's not for that disastrous pick six. That took a lot of wind out of their sails. Not saying they would have won. I think it would have kind of gone a lot the same direction. But you're talking about a 1-score game instead of 2. Maybe it's a later touchdown. Maybe your impression of that game's a lot different. So I'm curious. I think we'll find out a lot about where this team is at mentally. And I go back to so many Badger games, a lot of them in the series against Iowa, but also just a lot of games when I'm thinking back all the way to the Barry Alvarez era. You need a guy to step up and make a play at a crucial time and turn the tide.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, I'm curious. We're going to put this into the Twitter sphere here. The poll question: who are we going to learn the most about for the Badgers in this game? Is it going to be Luke Fickell, Braden Locke, or the defense? Those are the three options. We'll get that in the field coming up next. But we're live at Liberty Station. Adam Mertz on his way. He's almost here. And our friends at Liberty Station are running a game day shuttle program during home games this football season for just $15. Get a Coors Light and a round-trip ride to Camp Randall. It all starts at Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse, located off the Beltline in Rimrock Road. That's where we are today. You can come join us. Have a Coors Light. They're everywhere. It's fantastic. We've got food coming in not too long, just like Adam Mertz coming in, joining us in person. But coming up next, we've got Brian Bulaga. He's not scheduled to appear, but he did join the Jump Around hosted by Jim Rutledge on Thursdays, and he had so much to say. The former Packers tackle, the former Iowa Hawkeye, on this Badgers-Iowa rivalry. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. That's coming up next, presented by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get house.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Pizza Hut's wings are the best thing to happen to pizza night since, well, pizza. Introducing Pizza Hut's new Big Boneless Wing Bundle. For only $15.99, enjoy 16 crispy boneless wings in 2 different flavors, 2 dipping sauces, and a double order of fries. The wings are sauced and tossed to perfection and available in 9 flavors like honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and sweet chili. It's the perfect bundle for game days, girls' nights, family night, or any tailgate party. Order now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com.
Your warehouse concrete floors see a lot of traffic. Uneven, sinking, or cracked concrete can pose a serious threat to any business operation. From trip hazards to cracked foundations, sinking concrete can keep any business owner up at night. Concrete Lifting Technologies is here to help. Concrete Lifting Technologies can even out that concrete floor to prevent these hazards. They can level your warehouse floor within a few hours and don't even need to shut down your operations. Visit itaintmudjack.com to get a free quote today. That's itaintmudjack.com.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
Looking to get away this winter? Well, now's your chance. Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. Our friends at Coors Light are giving away a Florida experience this December, and you could win. This trip for 2 includes a travel and hotel voucher, club-level tickets to the Boca Bowl on Wednesday, December 18th, and exclusive access to events surrounding the Boca Bowl. All you have to do is order an ice-cold Coors Light and scan the QR code at any of the following locations: Pooley's, Tanner's, Draft House, and Paoli Pub. Coors Light. Enjoy responsibly.
Black Friday is Cash Friday at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. On Friday, November 29th, starting at 5 p.m., 18 winners will each take home a cash prize between $500 and $2,500 in our Cash Friday promotion. And at 8 p.m., one winner will take home the $40,000 grand prize. Plus, November 29th is Ho Chunk Day, and we're celebrating by giving the first 500 guests visiting our Rewards Club booth $25 in rewards play. Cash Friday is a holiday tradition at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesh Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
We're on the Packers.
On Sunday, in the NFC, the two best teams are going to be playing.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
Got to take care of it at home.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day presented by Coors Light. I'm Alex Gravatt. Adam Mertz is just a few moments away from joining us, but we'll be joined in spirit by the longtime Packers tackle and Iowa Hawkeye who joined the Jump Around this past week on the YouTube-only show hosted by Jim Rutledge, The Jump Around, which you can catch Thursdays at noon on YouTube or listen back wherever you get your podcasts. But we're also brought to you in part by Canopy Wealth Management. Canopy Wealth Management carries a long-standing tradition of working in the best interests of their clients every single day. The team at Canopy Wealth Management emphasizes building local relationships, and they believe that values matter and they strengthen their communities. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity isn't just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. The Badgers getting ready to take on Iowa Hawkeyes for the Heartland Trophy. Badgers are 3-point underdogs. The over-under is 40 points, so the Badgers are implied to get held under 20 points total. They'll be live from Kinnick Stadium starting at 6:30, and in just a moment we will have the longtime Packer and Iowa Hawkeye Brian Bulaga. Brian Bulaga interview starting now.
Sorry about that, G. I meant to say that Adam Mertz, your co-host, has actually arrived, so we could have him join the program shortly, if you would be able to pull him over, or me and you can continue to talk.
Adam Mertz got in, dropped off his bag, and sprinted straight to the restroom, so he's taking his time. We are totally all right, though.
So why don't we go ahead and get the audio started of Brian Bulaga as he joined the Jump Around, like you said. Here's his interview with Jim Rutledge. And I will say, I have to admit that I embarrassed myself at the very beginning of this interview because while it is the battle for the Heartland Trophy between Iowa and Wisconsin, I first texted Brian Bulaga to join the Jump Around saying that it would be great to have somebody joining from the other side of the battle for the Freedom Trophy, which, as many may know, is the trophy that the Big Ten made up for Wisconsin and Nebraska. So, starting the interview off hot for me as the producer of the Jump Around, but also Brian Bulaga acknowledging that to start. But once again, great interview with former Packers offensive lineman and Iowa Hawkeye great, talking about how he was once almost a Badger, actually. So we'll get it started now.
I didn't realize, Brian, that there were 17 trophy games in the Big Ten. There's too many
trophies. That's a lot. That's way too many trophy games. Are you kidding me? Like, come on. There's not that many rivalries and big games, so to speak. Like, you kind of look at, you look at the obvious ones, at least to me. Like, we get it, Michigan, Ohio State. And, like, I always looked at it, Iowa, Wisconsin. Like, we have one with Purdue. We have one with Minnesota. Like, it's like, what are we doing with all these trophy games? There's too many trophy games. Like, and then we got one with Iowa State. It's just like way too many trophy games. Way too many. They're not all that important.
Yeah, less is more. So would you say your time at Iowa, who was the team where you're like, we got to beat them?
Yeah, to me, it was always Wisconsin. I got recruited hard by Wisconsin and Brett Bielema, and I have an interesting story with them. I mean, I loved Wisconsin. I visited there multiple times. When I was a junior, I met Joe Thomas there. So it was a really cool experience for me. But what happened was Coach Bilma told me that he wanted me to play defensive line. And I was like, I'm not a defensive lineman. Yeah, I played in high school, and that's great, but I'm not a defensive lineman. And obviously Iowa's plan from the start was to play me a tackle, and I knew that's kind of where my future was going to take me. And what always made me care a little bit more about that game was probably 2 days before signing day, Brett Bilma called my cell phone and said, hey, I'm showing up to the house. We got to talk. So he was already he showed up to my house at, I think it was 10 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock, saying you can play offensive line. We want you to come here. And then Iowa found out that he was there. And it was it just turned into something that should have never, it was nothing, right? Of course, he was in the area. We were going to hear him out. It was 2 days before signing day. I was committed, but especially now in the NIL days that we're in now, that was nothing. That was
you would have had
peanuts.
a bag. You would have had a big bag of cash nowadays.
Yeah, that was peanuts. Meeting with a coach before signing day, what is that? Big deal. But at the time when, back in 2006, that was a big deal. So I always took that game a little more serious because of my recruiting situation with them. And I appreciate the game a lot because when you looked at the two teams, they mirrored each other, especially then. Wisconsin's a little bit different right now and how they're built and how they play. But when I was there, the two programs mirrored each other. It was the same style offense. It was the same style defense to a degree, but still same principles. So it was like you were playing your own team when you went out there. It was you're looking at your defense in the mirror, and it was always a really fun atmosphere. So to me, it was always Wisconsin.
Did Brett show you his Iowa tattoo in this recruiting process?
I think, because Iowa told me, ask him about his Iowa tattoo. Because these guys all know who's recruiting who and who's going, everyone already knows that. And they asked me hey, show me your Tiger Hawk tattoo. And he didn't show it to me. He goes, I have one, but I'm not going to show it. But listen, he was a good dude. I thought he was a nice guy. When he said you're going to play defensive line, and then 2 days before signing day said, you can play O-line, I looked at that as a little, I don't know, man. It doesn't sound like I'm going to get a chance to play offensive line is the way I looked at it.
Went to Iowa and then went to Wisconsin, and part of his trepidation at Wisconsin was initially maybe they wanted him at corner, then they kind of did the same thing and said, hey, you could be a running back. And he says now looking back at it, he wish he played corner because that's where the money is in the NFL. But it is one of those things where the position can matter in recruiting.
Oh, for sure. And, listen, I kind of knew where I was as a player and where I was going to develop. I knew I wasn't some, 4.7, 4.6 speed, 3-tech or 4-tech like J.J. Watt turned out to be. That wasn't my build. That wasn't my skill set. My skill set was going to be as an offensive lineman. That's what I was going to be. And I knew that. And I accepted that, even though it took me a little convincing from Iowa when I committed there. They're like, you're going to play offensive tackle. I'm like, well, what about tight end? You're going to play offensive tackle. I'm like, okay, got it. Understood. So I kind of accepted that. And then my senior year, I just said, hey, I'll play left. We were short a left tackle. And I said, I'll play left tackle. I'll do it. Since that's clearly I'm going to go play offensive line in college. So I might as well do it here. And I could see that's where I was going to be moving forward, was on the offensive line and not on the defensive line.
And obviously you had the right vision on that. We're talking to Brian Bulaga, former Packer, former Hawkeye. Now I want to say Hawkeye because of that video, but former Hawkeye. What is your perspective as a Hawkeye on the Badger football program and their struggles? Because I think, unfortunately, it started, and I think Paul Chris is a great ball coach, but I think the recruiting and the NIL and all that was so far behind that they had to make a change. And he's not the first, he won't be the last coach that with the NIL changes, they're left behind because they're great football coaches, but they can't put in the work to be basically CEOs like a Fickle has to be right now. Kirk Ferentz has been able to handle it so far, but it is a completely different recruiting landscape. But Wisconsin has changed not only how they're recruiting, but more on offense than defense. If you looked at it, what Tressel's running on defense is pretty similar to what Jim Leonard did as far as personnel groups. But offensively, it's a shock to the system. And I would imagine even as an Iowa fan to see Wisconsin running the spread.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the first game. I mean, last year I didn't pay too much attention to it. I knew they were struggling, and it was his first year, and we all knew he was transitioning to this offense. So, I didn't pay much attention to it because I knew there was going to be struggles. You can't completely swap personnel, even with this new landscape, that quickly to get the guys in that you need to run that system, right? So, I knew there was going to be some give and take, and then obviously. I watched the first game I truly watched and watched intently was that USC game. I watched that whole game. It was a great game, right? Wisconsin played really well. I thought, at the end, I wish they would have won that football game because I thought they deserved it. And, some things happened towards the end that they lost it. But I walked away from that game really impressed with them offensively because at that time, that was the backup quarterback, right? So he was the backup QB because I knew that the starter had been injured and was out for the season against who did he get hurt against?
Alabama,
Ohio State?
The third play or something like that. Yeah, very early.
Yeah, so I knew it was the backup. So watching it, I was very impressed by what he was able to do, how he led the offense. But it is a shock to not see Wisconsin as a run-first team, right? And I get it. People, because they tell it to me, too, as an Iowa guy, you're so archaic and you're this. And then I go, yeah, I may be archaic. But, those are the principles that Iowa football has been forever. And, Kirk sticks by it. Yeah, they're throwing the ball way more than they have in the past. And in some games, they're scoring more points than they ever have, which I get it. That everyone wants to see that. But, at the end of the day, they are a running football team, and they got a really good running back, and that's what they do. So, to watch Wisconsin spread it out and just fling it around, I mean, it's a little it's not oh, my gosh, I can't believe this, but it doesn't look right at times, right? And I get it. They're going to get there. He's going to get that thing to where he wants it. He's going to get the right personnel. But in its early stages right now, I just look at him I don't get how Wisconsin's doing that. It doesn't make any sense to me. But at the same time, I see good signs out of the offense, right? The Penn State, I watched a little bit of that game. That was always going to be a struggle, right? I know they started hot and they played good early on, but it was going to be a struggle. I mean, it's the same way when Iowa went up to Ohio State, right? It was a 7-0 ball game at halftime, and then something else happened. So, it's just the way that these things go. So, that's not what I didn't look at the end of that Penn State Wisconsin game as oh, shame on Wisconsin. I think he's got it going in the right direction. It's going to take more than 2 years, and I know fans are impatient with it. And they want it now, and they know the NIL's there, so you should be able to do this. And, if you want to build this program properly, right, and it's not going into the portal. It is getting recruits that you identify and building them up through the program and allowing it. I mean, because Iowa's done that from the start. Yeah, they've gone in the portal to get a quarterback and things like that. I get that. But, the foundation pieces are recruits, and that's how they build a program. And that's kind of what I think Wisconsin needs time to do at this point.
And with the offensive line, obviously, you got a good eye for that. And Joe Thomas said that, if his son grew up and wanted to play O-line, he wouldn't, and obviously he's biased because he's a Badger, but he said he wouldn't steer his team away from the Badgers, even if they're still running the spread, because you still should be teaching NFL technique, because obviously Wisconsin, just like Iowa, turned out a lot of NFL offensive linemen, and I think that's still... I mean, Phil Longo at North Carolina ran the ball 51% of the time, threw it 50%. So no matter what, a good offense is going to be balanced, which means you need an offensive line that can pass block and run block. What difference is, or what type of recruits, or what is this offensive line going to look like when it gets to exactly where it needs to be? Because some of these kids were recruited to be probably more power offensive linemen than maybe that's in this spread offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Joe's right. I mean, I don't think Joe's wrong on too many things. You do have to be taught proper technique, and if you're a spread offense, yes, there's a lot of pass blocking involved. And we know one thing in the NFL, even though in the NFL the run game is making its return and showing its importance week in and week out through the NFL, like the last 5 years, it's really shown how big of a piece that is. But at the end of the day, like I mean, I learned this from a young age in the NFL from Sitton and Cliff and these guys, like, you know, run block for show, pass block for dough. And that's the way it is. You protect the quarterback, you get paid. And that's the way the NFL works. Like, you can get by in the NFL as an average run blocker, putting a body on a body, but you can't get by in the NFL being a bad pass blocker. Because if you get your quarterback hit, that's the easiest ticket out the door. So, like, I look at Wisconsin and how they're probably going to end up developing and bringing guys in that are a little lighter bodied, probably a little more athletic built, a little bit leaner than what we've traditionally seen from Wisconsin offensive lines. Like, I go back to, you know, Joe was obviously a different breed. Joe was completely, obviously, off the charts of what he was as a player and his build and what he was. But Joe got brought in as a not a big guy, right? Like, and I got brought into Iowa as a 260-pound guy. Like, I got built up from that, as did he. And I feel like Wisconsin's going to go back to that model and not go out and get the 320-pound kid in high school, because the 320-pound kid in high school can only move so much, right? You can't. It's hard to strip him down and build him back up while developing his speed and all that. Where if you get a guy like Joe Thomas was, or things like that, these tight end builds, so to speak, and build them up, you can develop everything as time goes on. And that's something that Kirk Ferentz has been doing that forever, like Riley Reif, Brandon Scherf, myself, Tristan Wirfs, like all these guys, or all of us were lighter, and we got built into heavier bodies that can move and do all those things. And that's how Wisconsin did things for a long time too. With certain guys, so to speak, like Gabe Karimi would be one of them, and Joe. Obviously, certain builds. Obviously, you know, there's some guys that are just thick-bodied, very strong.
I was going to ask you about this. You probably would have seen him play at Wisconsin, but in your youth. But Aaron Gibson, 6'6", 375 pounds. I think he had the biggest helmet size in NFL history. Like, that guy's probably not coming around Wisconsin anymore. But that was a big guy.
Yeah. Like, see, like, that's just. Yeah, that's not going to happen, and that's okay, because, like, there's a place for where that guy's going to fit in and where he can play, but, like, Wisconsin can't do that with what they're trying to do. Yeah, they're still going to run the football, but bringing in 370-pound freshmen is just not going to fit what they're trying to do offensively. And when you spread teams out and you want to throw it and you want to run out of the gun and things like that, which Wisconsin does a lot of, you have to have athletic linemen that can move in space and block in space and things like that. And it's not a knock on huge guys coming out of high school. Like, hey, there's some guys that are just enormous. I get it. But it's not the way Wisconsin is looking to build their offense, so to speak, if that makes sense. Like, to me, it's very clear. Like, I see exactly the prototype bodied guy they want, build him up for a year or two, let him go at 305 pounds, and there he goes, and there he plays. Like, it obviously, guard's a little different than center and tackle, but that's kind of the mold. And as that time goes on, they're getting stronger, they're getting faster, everything comes together, and by the time they're third, fourth-year guys, they look like, you know, what you want. Great pass blockers, do their job in the run game, and that's what you want when you're spreading it out and throwing it 35 to 40 times a game.
With Jim Rutledge on Thursdays. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, presented by Coors Light. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do, and that is crush a Coors Light. And Mertz, one thing that jumped out is you talk about team building and what the next steps look like for this air raid, the dairy air raid, whatever you want to call it. He made a really good point about maybe recruiting smaller guys.
Yeah, and, you know, let's get from Brian Bulaga, who knows a little bit about playing offensive line and about the Midwest and like the kind of stock that you can get your hands on as well. I think that's really important to bring up. I'm fascinated by that. And let's draw this back a little bit too. This is not like a foreign concept to Wisconsin. You think back to the 2010-11 teams, they had a lot of athleticism on that line, and Bob Bostad coached those guys up, and they were able to do some really interesting things in terms of getting guys on the move out on the perimeter. It works for more than just the air raid offense. It works in any kind of power offense if you have those guys that are able to have the frames to put on the bulk and the strength to be able to execute in the run game as well.
Man, and that is Coach Barry Alvarez somewhere is listening to this thinking, no, I'm not going to do that. He loves getting those big balukas, as he calls them, who can go and dominate, right? But we'll have more on that coming up next. We'll have more on the ESPN poll, which is kind of surprising me. Who are we going to learn the most about as Badgers take on the Iowa Hawkeyes for the Heartland Trophy today? And we're going to have a scoreboard update by our guy, Ryan Wollersheim. But that'll be brought to you by Metro Ford of Madison, Madison's trusted Ford dealer. Whether you need to purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford, Metro Ford is the place to go. Visit Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today, or go to their website, metrofordofmadison.com, to see this month's specials and browse their inventory. That's metrofordofmadison.com. But this is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day pregame show brewed by Coors Light.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Wisconsin families are getting crushed today. We're paying more for food, clothes, gas than ever. Our open border has allowed over 10 million illegal immigrants into our country the last 4 years, driving up the cost of health care and housing for every one of us. What's more, it's allowed fentanyl to pour into our communities, killing our friends and family. Kamala Harris and Senator Baldwin's policies created all these problems. It's time for change. I'm Eric Hovde, and that's why I'm running for the U.S. Senate. For too long, these career politicians have failed our country. They're all talk, no action. I'm not anything like these people. I'm a business guy who lives in a world where actually solving problems matters. We need to lower the cost of food, close our southern border, build more affordable housing, and fix our healthcare system. I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message because it's time for change.
Paid for by Hovde for Wisconsin.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Whether you're in the market for a new or new-to-you vehicle, Metro Ford of Madison has the customer service that's second to none. Metro Ford is also the home of the 2 years no-charge maintenance offer on new vehicle purchases, making it the place to go for the new Ford of your dreams. Browse their inventory, schedule a service, or see this month's offers at metrofordofmadison.com. That's metrofordofmadison.com.
Get your team ready. Registration for Madison School and Community Recreation's Adult Winter Basketball Leagues is now open. With nearly 200 teams participating, nights will fill up fast. Jesse Nelson here. MSCR Adult Basketball Leagues offer fun for every level of player. 8-week play begins in early January. MSCR welcomes all participants and encourages you to register for the league that best fits your identity and needs as an athlete. For more information and to register, go to mscr.org.
Forward Madison FC has made the playoffs. Join us at Breeze Stevens Field on November 2nd at 6 p.m. as the Mingos host their first ever home playoff match. Be a part of history and bring the energy as we pack the stadium and get loud for the boys in pink and blue as they begin their playoff campaign. Bring out your whole flock and try our family special and get a match ticket, a meal, and an FMFC scarf for only $21 each. Get your playoff tickets now at forwardmadisonfc.com.
Like, share, and follow ESPN Madison everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more great content from ESPN Madison. This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand. From LA to Piscataway, this is your college football scoreboard update, driven by Metro Ford of Madison.
Hello, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your scoreboard update. And starting with the action around the Big Ten today, well, Ladies and gentlemen, it was a big game out at Beaver Stadium as the number 4 Ohio State Buckeyes chopped down the Penn State Nittany Lions 20-13 in Happy Valley. Penn State coming off a win 28-13 against Wisconsin last week at Camp Randall Stadium. They'll surely fall down from their position as the number 3 ranked team in the country, while Ohio State climbs from that number 4 spot. And then speaking of the top 5, number 1 Oregon currently leading Michigan at the Big House by 14, 31-17 out there in Ann Arbor. Then Michigan State trailing number 13 ranked Indiana 33-10, while UCLA leads Nebraska 27-14 at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. Nebraska going to be taking on the Badgers in 3 weeks out there at Memorial Stadium. And then earlier today, Northwestern taking out Purdue 26-20, and Minnesota taking down number 24 ranked Illinois 25-17 in Champaign-Urbana. Then coming up later tonight, we got Wisconsin versus Iowa. Badgers currently a 3-point road underdog. And then also at the same time, USC taking on Washington. USC 2-point road underdog.
Metro
favorites.
Ford of Madison, Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Learn more at metrofordofmadison.com.
Madison, Wisconsin is as good as it gets.
It's all about the Badgers.
Go Badgers! Go
Games like this is what really separates college football from everything else.
That was J.J. Watt, and what a story this young man is. Gordon again! What a performance by Melvin Gordon! And the pass rush gets home for the Badgers. Camp Randall lets it roar.
An unrivaled fan base, the best college sports town in the world. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
All right, we've got some interesting returns on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day pregame show live from Liberty Station in Madison. We've got a poll in the field. What will we learn the most about as the Badgers travel to take on Iowa today for the Heartland Trophy? Braden Locke, Luke Fickell, or the defense? I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Adam Mertz. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day presented by Coors Light. We're also brought to you in part by Jones Dairy Farm, and they pride themselves on making the best tasting high-quality breakfast sausage you can buy. They only use all natural ingredients right here in Fort Atkinson. To learn more about Jones Dairy Farm's promise, visit jonesdairyfarm.com. I start almost every one of my mornings with one of their breakfast sausages on an egg sandwich that I make, which also, the term egg sandwich, kind of off-putting to me. For what it is, like, I love egg sandwiches, but, like, it sounds kind of gross.
Are you more like the breakfast sandwich? You prefer like something a little more generic?
100%.
Yeah, breakfast taco.
Oh, yeah.
Dress it up. You know, so like marketing. It's basically marketing.
It's marketing because like egg sandwich just sounds like you know, it reminds me of the like sitting there with the egg on your face, you know, like that kind of that vibe. It's just, I don't like it. Anyway, back to the poll. Braden Locke currently leading with 45%. Then comes the defense at 37%. 18% of people believe that we will learn a lot about Luke Fickell as what we've discussed as the meat and potatoes, the scary part, the truly important part of the season begins today, in my opinion, as the Badgers battle for the Heartland Trophy. Which of those three stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we go to the Braden Locke well every week. That was the guy that we were trying to watch last week, and we said on the pregame when we were saying, like, who are you keeping an eye on today, and it was Braden Locke. But the thing is, like, for good reason. Quarterback is so important in this offense, so important to any team, obviously, in terms of both performance and leadership on the field and just sort of your confidence in where you're headed as a program. Right now, you know, you talk about some areas where the Badgers have built up some quality depth over the last year and a half, 2 years under Luke Fickell. Quarterback's not one of them. You've got right now, you know, one guy who's battle-tested it all. And so as much emphasis as there is on Braden Locke, you know, showing can he perform, can he really earn this number one job, there's not another option right now. I know people call for Mabry Matoyer to get out there, but he's not ready. And I'm also really reluctant to throw a guy out there into this stage of the season with so much still on the line when he's going to be kind of learning on the fly. I don't like that feel at all. If you happen to have, sort of an SEC late season, we're going to bring in UMass, for a non-conference game, you feel a little more confident with that. But Braden Locke, you got to see what you have in him, because we're coming up on transfer portal season. You got TVD out there coming back from an ACL, when be playing his 6th year. Hasn't really, shown what he can be. That's an unknown. If you got Braden Locke, you're not quite sure what you have there yet. You're starting to feel like you know what you have, and you're not entirely pleased with it. And then you have Mabry Matorio, who's, would be able to compete for this roster spot next year for the starting job.
Yeah.
But what's the depth in that case?
It's
you don't
too
have
early.
a lot. You don't have a lot.
Exactly. It's too early to get him in there. I'm sure he's had plenty of meaningful reps through practice, and I hope that he continues to get them, because he is the future of the franchise. We know Braden Locke. We know what he's good at. We know what he's not quite good at. And he plays the game a little like Jordan Love. I know we would love to have someone who's a little bit more of an efficient passer, but instead he's out there just bombs away. I love it. It's fun. It's exciting. It's cool to be a fan. You're going to get an interception, which that does stink.
Yeah.
But the Badgers are continuing to look into recruiting quarterbacks. You want to keep getting guys in there who might have the arm, and they're currently talking with Carter Smith, who's going to come for the Oregon game in a couple weeks and see what it's like to be at Camp Randall under the lights in a big situation like that. Because I don't think that Braden Locke is necessarily the answer. He's not who is going to take this Badgers team from a middling Big Ten team to a Penn State competitor, an Ohio State beater, Oregon, these teams that are truly stalwarts. He's not the guy to bring us there, but they're going to continue to build in, and that's why, for me, this question is not at all about Braden Locke. I'm honestly a little surprised to see it get nearly half of the votes, as we're over 30 votes already. It's not the defense for me either, despite the 37% of people. It's Luke Fickell. You have a team that is built similar to Iowa. You are playing a team that is recruited similar, that is at a similar talent level. This is where push comes to shove, and I want to see how he can get the most out of his guys, how he can manage this game from start to end, and how he can go out there and just burn through an Ohio team that is 3-1 in the last 3 games against the Badgers.
To your defense on this one, I like where you're headed.
Okay.
I like where you're headed. Let's talk about it.
But
no. Let's talk about it. I think that you're right. We haven't seen a game where the Badgers have been, where you feel like extremely well coached for 60 minutes, that they were ready for any counterpunch, that they were ready to address things like, Drew Aller going out last weekend and defend Bo Prabula differently. There's a lot of suspect, maybe questionable coaching decisions.
Absolutely.
That you see come out. And so I don't mind the spotlight being put on Luke Fickell for this game for the rest of the year, obviously. My eye is still on Braden Locke. It is really on Braden Locke. But I'm curious to see how that plays out today. If this is the 60-minute game that we're talking about, where a little wrinkle, a little nugget here or there, a bad decision, a missed opportunity on a way to influence the game can be the difference between winning and losing. Pretty soon, like you said, 50-50 games, the coaching staff's got to own that as much as the players do.
Absolutely they do. All right, we're going to come back after this with 2 Truths and a Lie presented by Celebrations Entertainment. Are you planning an event? It's never been easier. They have complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and so much more fun. Visit celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Celebrations Entertainment, fun, memorable events. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day presented by Coors Light.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance, like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Your warehouse concrete floors see a lot of traffic. Uneven, sinking, or cracked concrete can pose a serious threat to any business operation. From trip hazards to cracked foundations, sinking concrete can keep any business owner up at night. Concrete Lifting Technologies is here to help. Concrete Lifting Technologies can even out that set concrete floor to prevent these hazards. They can level your warehouse floor within a few hours and don't even need to shut down your operations. Visit itaintmudjack.com to get a free quote today. That's itaintmudjack.com.
The Jones family has its rules, just like any other family. Only difference is, ours are about making the best tasting, highest quality breakfast sausage you can buy. One of our rules, we only use all natural ingredients. It's a mandate we've followed since the 1840s, and we'll continue to do so for generations to come. Right here in Fort Atkinson. I'm Philip Jones. To learn more about the rules that make sure my family provides your family with the best tasting, highest quality breakfast sausage, visit jonesdairyfarm.com.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Fish fry, walleye, and vegetarian options are available, and they have a menu that's sure to please everyone. Liberty Station smokes their meats daily with a 1,000-gallon custom smoker, giving you the freshest experience possible. Enjoy happy hour with daily discounts on both food and drinks at their large bar with 20 draft taps and multiple TVs to watch the big game. Be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area too. Liberty Station off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
Prairie Athletic Club is the ultimate destination for health, wellness, and crushing your goals. This is Sarah Tauscher. Say goodbye to post-workout aches and pains at the Pack's new Recovery Zone. With their assisted stretch and pneumatic boot sessions, you can get instant results, leaving you feeling refreshed and ready to tackle your next workout. Don't believe it works? Give it a try. Stop in, stretch your body, and relax your mind at the Pack. Visit prairieathletic.com to learn more. Prairie Athletic Club, family, fun, community.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Looking to get away this winter? Well, now's your chance. Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. Our friends at Coors Light are giving away a Florida experience this December, and you could win. This trip for two includes a travel and hotel voucher, club-level tickets to the Boca Bowl on Wednesday, December 18th, and exclusive access to events surrounding the Boca Bowl. All you have to do is order an ice-cold Coors Light and scan the QR code at any of the following locations: Scotty Bar, Red Zone, Echo Tap, and Wando's. Coors Light. Enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Hey, this is John Audius, Wisconsin Badgers volleyball play-by-play broadcaster. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand, Madison's new home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day presented by Coors Light. We are live at Liberty Station American Tavern just off the Beltline and Rimrock Road. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Adam Mertz. 844-770-3776 is your way into the show. And with Celebrations Entertainment, planning an event has never been easier. They have complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movie nights, casino nights, and so much more. So much fun. CelebrationsEntertainment.com. Go there to get started today. Celebrations Entertainment, fun, memorable events. But now it is time for Two Truths and a Lie.
Who's telling the truth?
You can't handle the truth.
And who is a dirty, rotten, no-good liar?
You calling me a liar? I ain't calling you a truther.
Two Truths and a Lie on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is brought to you by Celebrations Entertainment, the premier entertainment and event services company in southern Wisconsin.
Alrighty, today we are joined by Intern Gabe. Intern Gabe, how you doing?
Very excited to be here. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for your help earlier today. We were missing the live rebinder, and I know that Seth, our other part-timer here, is the one who ran and got it. But you integral in getting everything set up. So thank you very much for that.
Of course. I'll give Seth all the credit, though.
Now, I've been told that you are a hardcore college football guy.
Oh, yeah, big time.
And you are a Wisconsin Badgers fan, correct?
Of course, gotta be.
Good. All right, well then, you know this is all about Wisconsin, Iowa. I hope that you can live up to the hype that I've been told that you live up to.
For sure, guaranteed.
All right, we're going to start with you, Mertz. What do you got?
I just love the calm confidence, Gabe. Like, bring it.
I've never seen him raise his voice. He sits in front of me every day he comes into the office, and it's just calm, collected the whole time.
That's me, yep.
Here it is. We'll see if we can get the blood pressure a little bit up. So, number one, Iowa won 6 games last season in which they scored less than 20 points.
All right, he's nodding. He's feeling good about that. He knows whether that's the lie or the truth. We don't. Usually we have the show sheet, and it tells us which one is which. Today, primetime in for DJ Tiny Hands or Hunter Vaughn, whatever you want to call him.
He's a DJ?
DJ Tiny Hands.
I realize he had that
title.
title.
He's a producer. He's always picking good music, figuring it out.
He is spinning.
Are you listening to this song right now? He picked this song. You think this is good? What are we talking about?
I think it encapsulates what we're going for here.
All right.
It's like 70s game
with
show.
Two Truths and a Lie. All right.
Yes.
Number 2, Barry Alvarez never won the Heartland Trophy as the Badgers head coach. Wow. Badger legend Barry Alvarez, head coach Barry Alvarez, UW athletic director Barry Alvarez, co-host of the Great Dane Huddle, Barry Alvarez. All right, primetime, what do you got?
Yes, Barry Alvarez is a true icon, just like Gabe the intern is a true icon with that Big Ten West personality. All right, and in true Big Ten... Whoa, what do you want? He's stoic, he's solid, he's very affirmative. Look, he knows exactly what he is, and he knows exactly what is 2 truths and a lie, which is why I'll present the last option. You're welcome, Gabe. Which is why I'll present the last option in today's 2 truths and a lie. Iowa is the only program to have a punter finish top 10 in Heisman voting in college football history.
What?
Top 10.
I genuinely don't know which, because none of these are even kind of believable to me. Well, one's kind of believable to me, but all right, Gabe.
All right, the first one's got to be true. That sounds right. I don't
He is
think
correct.
Tory Taylor was top 10, but maybe in like the 60s or something when punting was big time. That could be true. And Barry Alvarez coached too long at Wisconsin to have never beaten Iowa. That's got to be the lie. I'm going with the second one.
All right, primetime, you're the one who knows. You have all the power here.
Yeah, and I got to say, guys, Gabe, he says he knows a lot about the Big Ten West, knows a lot about college football.
Uh-oh.
Doesn't know that much about the Heartland Trophy, apparently.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately,
wow,
Gabe,
Alvarez.
for those who do not realize, the Heartland Trophy did not debut until 2004.
I mean, that's...
The Badgers and Iowa played each other for eons. I think the all-time matchup record is 102 games, I believe, 49, 46, and 6, I believe. I'm surprised there's that few ties, to be honest. But it was debuted in 2004. Barry Alvarez's last season, 2005. 04 and 05 Badgers lost to Iowa. So he never won the Heartland Trophy
How about that?
as the Badgers head coach.
Well, it's also true. His record, I just looked up, 5-9 against Iowa. That's surprising.
It is.
Well, that was like height of the Hayden Fry era in the early 90s. That was pretty tough sledding.
Yeah.
All right, well, do you want to try and tausch it?
Can I guess about the punter? Who the punter was?
Oh, wait. Yeah, sure, go for it. Guess who the punter was? But Gabe, do you want to tausch it and see if you can go 0 for 2 or get right
Do it.
behind?
Go first.
What's behind door 1 and 3?
So I still have to guess the lie is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yep.
The lie, I'll go with the third one then. The punter one is the lie.
The punter one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he finally sniffed it out. Well done, Gabe.
There we go.
Well done. No full-time punter has ever finished top 10 in Heisman voting in college football history.
Interesting.
Though if it was going to happen, it would be an Iowa punter, obviously.
For sure.
Right.
No, it would be Atticus.
Atticus Bertram's the Badgers punter. True.
I'm a fan.
Look at that. You're on board. You're fully
Look,
on board.
honestly, if we're talking about best players in the Badgers right now, it's unequivocally Atticus Bertram's.
Oh, dude, he's gonna go to the league for sure.
Oh.
All right, Gabe. Before we let you go, can we get your thoughts on this game? Badgers 3-point underdogs.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good things I've seen from the Badgers the past few weeks, even with the losses. I was at the USC game. I was at the Penn State game. You enter halftime thinking you're about to beat 2 top 10 teams. Obviously, the second half goes poorly. I think the Badgers get it done. I think they're a better team than Iowa. I think they got some quarterback stuff going on. I think the Badgers are a more consistent team. I'll say Badgers 23-17. A little bit more points than people are predicting.
23-17. I like it. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate
you. Thanks, Just got some food, so you can go have some of that, although I think that's actually just our food. Anyway, we'll get to that later. Save money and save the planet. Ditch the energy bill and make the switch to Everlight Solar, your local solar energy company based in Madison. Visit everlightsolar.com to learn more and make the switch today. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics, and we are continuing to get you ready for Wisconsin Badgers Athletics here on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, presented by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Pizza Hut's wings are the best thing to happen to pizza night since, well, pizza. Introducing Pizza Hut's new Big Boneless Wing Bundle. For only $15.99, enjoy 16 crispy boneless wings in 2 different flavors, 2 dipping sauces, and a double order of fries. The wings are sauced and tossed to perfection and available in 9 flavors like honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and sweet chili. It's the perfect bundle for game days, girls' nights, family night, or any tailgate party. Order now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com.
Wisconsin families are getting crushed today. We're paying more for food, clothes, gas than ever. Our open border has allowed over 10 million illegal immigrants into our country the last 4 years, driving up the cost of health care and housing for every one of us. What's more, it's allowed fentanyl to pour into our communities, killing our friends and family. Kamala Harris and Senator Baldwin's policies created all these problems. It's time for change. I'm Eric Hovde, and that's why I'm running for the U.S. Senate. For too long, these career politicians have failed our country. They're all talk, no action. I'm not anything like these people. I'm a business guy who lives in a world where actually solving problems matters. We need to lower the cost of food, close our southern border, build more affordable housing, and fix our healthcare system. I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message because it's time for change.
Paid for by Hovde for Wisconsin.
Madison's financial challenges need a Dane County-based bank. Starion Bank is a full-service community bank that delivers quality big bank services with a local approach. We are proud to be there for any budding entrepreneur or small businesses, helping them exceed their financial goals from banking to lending to cash management. Visit a banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, taking you farther.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. Our years of experience have prepared us to guide you through your life transitions. Our local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry for the benefit of our clients. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on your financial future today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Black Friday is Cash Friday at Ho Chunk Game in Madison. On Friday, November 29th, starting at 5 p.m., 18 winners will each take home a cash prize between $500 and $2,500 in our Cash Friday promotion. And at 8 p.m., one winner will take home the $40,000 grand prize. Plus, November 29th is Ho Chunk Day. And we're celebrating by giving the first 500 guests visiting our Rewards Club booth $25 in rewards play. Cash Friday is a holiday tradition at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesh Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
Football Sunday on ESPN Radio. While the Chicago Bears are undefeated at home, they're winless on the road. And this week they travel to Arizona to face Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. The Bears at the Cardinals. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern on select ESPN radio stations.
Give me something I can feel. Light a cigarette just so I can breathe. Give me something. 700 feet off the coast of Green. Give me something I can feel. No reservation, pull a 20 deep. Give me something. I would trade it all just to be at peace. Stop, the gear's too high, this is overload. And no matter what car is sitting outside, it's a lonely road.
The battle for the Heartland Trophy today at 6:30. Wisconsin at Iowa. The battle of the Badgers and Hawkeyes. Both teams 5-3. Both teams 3-2 in conference. Iowa 3-point favorites at home though in Kinnick Stadium. Now, we asked the question earlier. Who are we going to learn the most about for this Badgers team? Is it head coach Luke Fickell? Is it the quarterback Braden Locke? Or is it the defense? Now, I have lost my phone, and therefore I've lost the official poll results. We found it. Thank goodness. That's the paternal energy that you bring to the show that I just simply can't, Mertzy.
It was my sheet. It was my sheet of paper on top of your phone.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I had a little bit of built-in advantage there.
56 votes, currently sitting Braden Locke, 46%, Luke Fickell, 21%, the defense, 33%. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, presented by Coors Light. When you need refreshment on game day, choose a beer that's cold as the Rockies, cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do. Ryan Wollersheim, I finally have someone to do this with, and
That's Crush, a Coors Light.
2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Man, that makes me feel so. I usually set it up and no one's there for it. I have to knock it down myself, but I'm pumped up. But Barry Alvarez usually is the guy who gets me pumped up about the Badgers as we head into these weeks. He joins the Great Dane Huddle on a weekly basis now, and he was with Jesse Nelson, and here is what he had to say about the Iowa Badgers game.
Iowa's a lot like us. They're physical. They're not fancy. You have to play better, make less mistakes. Don't turn it over. This will be a great game to watch because who sticks with it? Who sticks with their plan the best? Who doesn't turn it over? Who can make plays at the right time? That's who's going to win.
All right, right away, first thoughts. Who sticks with it? This is why I think that it has to be Luke Fickell that we're talking about moving forward and who we evaluate the most in this game. Mertzy, am I wrong?
I'm going to come back to quarterback Braden Locke.
Fair.
But let's go down the Luke Fickell path again and just sort of this coaching staff more broadly. Last week, if you're going to pick at things, we talked about this a lot in the post game. The game was decided on talent on the field last weekend. I think there's no doubt about that. But there's elements within these games where decisions, approaches will kind of make you scratch your head a little bit. And one of mine from last weekend, to go a little bit deeper into Luke Fickell's staff, is the decision to go so conservative offensively in the third quarter. I thought that was not the right direction to go in a game where you are playing the challenger, the upset, and you come out in the first quarter or first half blazing. You're feeling good coming into halftime. Keep the pedal on. Make these guys react. I understand that Penn State was taking away a lot of what you wanted to do offensively. Totally get that. But the run, pass kind of thing was part of what led to the terrible Braden Locke interception of putting him in a deep hole in his own territory. So if there's something I'm going to poke at there, it's Luke as CEO.
As CEO?
As CEO of this program. There was a moment earlier in this season at Rutgers where the Badgers almost blew that sequence at the end of the first half. Just clock management was all over the place. And he almost had to run over and holler at at Phil Longo and be like, hey, what's going on? We calling a timeout here? We're getting some points on the board? And it wound up being a crucial Tyree Walker touchdown that kind of broke Rutgers back, as it turned out. I feel like he's deferred a lot of the decision-making on that side of the ball, like all of the decision-making on that side of the ball. And you do that when you have a veteran offensive coordinator, but there almost seems to be like too much separation and not enough alignment, pregame maybe on where you're headed, halftime, adjustments, that type of thing. That's where I feel like I want to see, like Luke Fickell owns this. He owns this job, and he's accountable for the result. I want to see him as the one who you're feeling like is pulling the strings on the big picture, on the macro strategic approach, is like how we coming out in the third quarter. And I want to see something like that today, to your point about where the coaching will influence this game.
And this is a game that you need to see all of the coaches on the same page 100%, because Iowa's going to make mistakes, just like the Badgers, right? There are going to be mistakes, and that's something that Coach Alvarez mentioned. The question is, how do you stay the course? And for the first time, truly, that I can remember in a Badgers-Iowa game, I feel like the Badgers have the ability to sustain a mistake. They can make a mistake because Braden Locke does throw interceptions, because they're willing to spread the ball around for sure in the air raid offense, things like that. But it giveth and it taketh away, right? He can still go out there, and at any moment you could get a Tretch Kekahuna touchdown. You could get Anthony out there on the side just streaking down the field. And so there's a level of explosiveness and excitement that doesn't come through the ground game. That means if there is a mistake, if you lose the turnover battle, it's not the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, look no further than last year's game against Iowa, where you're going into that, and as soon as the long touchdown run was popped, you're like, ooh, this is going to be hard to come back from. One touchdown. And that's where the Badgers were at last year, and that was Braden Locke thrown into action after Tanner Mordecai's broken hand during that Iowa game. That's some rough football to watch.
Yeah.
And you've seen it through the years, too, and like in better situations even, this Badgers program was just not built to come from behind at all. And I think you're right in that respect of like this team can put up points in a hurry when they're in a groove.
Yeah.
When they're in a groove. And they're going to have more opportunity to do that than what Penn State allowed. Penn State was kind of a boa constrictor and squeeze different elements out of the offense until at the end you're like, all we can do is chuck it. Can't go inside, can't go outside. I guess we just have to put it in the air 42 times.
All right, so do you think that this game, should the Badgers win, which I am predicting, by the way, Badgers win, is it going to be on the back of Tyree Walker, or is it going to be on the arm of Braden Locke?
I mean, I would think that the Badgers better hope it's on the back of Tyree Walker.
Okay.
I do. I mean, like, I'm not going to sit here and tear apart Braden Locke because I think he's done some good things. And, like, he's a pretty capable quarterback in the Big Ten in terms of where he ranks. We could talk about that out of the 18 in terms of the starters. But he's out there as a guy who's performing. He can make plays for you, as you talked about. It's not really what he can or can't do. It gets down to more like his command of the game, his decision making, that type of stuff where it's frustrating. It's very frustrating to watch. But for that reason, like the more you can rely on that ground game, the more you can rely on that offensive line getting back on track after a really rough week last weekend, the better you feel about their chances to let Braden Locke open it up when it counts, rather than having to lean on him.
Absolutely. Locktober did come crashing down in pretty dramatic fashion last week as he went, 9 for 22 or something like that?
Yeah, I think he was it wound up being 22 of 42, but I think he completed 8 passes on the last drive. So,
Got it.
I mean, that's a lot of dry area over 3 quarters.
True that. And so, okay, prime time back in the ESPN Madison Everlight Solar Studios. Ryan Wollersheim. This week we were talking. I was on Jim, Matt, and Molly, and you said that you were going to be coming in and heat checking me. Now I'm thinking that this is going to be a pass-heavy attack because that's what looked good early on in the game against Iowa last year. Because that is what has been working for the Badgers lately. Am I ludicrous to think that the Badgers could win this on the arm of Braden Locke?
If Braden Locke throws more than 30 times in this game, they're losing.
Oh gosh!
I agree wholeheartedly with Mertz on this one. I think Braden Locke. I think we sort of know who Braden Locke is. He's the guy who's going to take a lot of risks. Some of them are going to turn out for you, some of them aren't, and a lot of it's going to be based off tip balls and where they end up in whose hands. And I think it's a lot of error, and there's a big margin of outcomes with him. It's very Gardner Minshew-y, if that makes sense. If that's a good comp.
I love Gardner Minshew so much.
He's
that
fun
is my
to watch
man.
at times, but when he's bad, he is bad. And I think that's unfortunately that's what Braden Locke is. He's an air raid quarterback who just wants to get the ball out to his receivers. But I think last week in that Penn State game, as much as he stood out as something that didn't really come to fruition for them, the running game with Tui Walker went nowhere because the offensive line couldn't make any holes for him. Right? It was 27 carries for 81 yards. And we talked about him already, the Badgers' Heisman candidate, Atticus Bertram's. He had the longest run in the game.
Longest run.
15 yards on that
Yep.
fake punt, which was not even a called fake punt. He just impromptu'd it. I mean, it got 3 points for the Badgers. So I think this is one of those games where if they're going to win, they need the offensive line to show that they can show up and move Iowa's guys. I know Mertz mentioned the same thing in our pre-show prep. And I think that's what you get Tui Walker getting out and running and making big plays that they're going to need because Iowa's going to do that. And that's the one thing that I think the Badgers have to match to keep up with this and then hope that Braden Locke just doesn't make that back-breaking mistake again.
Man, the Badgers, I don't know if they have what it takes to control the trenches in this one. Iowa is so staunch defensively, specifically up front. That worries me.
So I'm going to take an opposite attack on that one. This is a team that is not as good as last year's up front. They're formidable. They're tough. They're going to, again, kind of out of that mold of Iowa of getting these guys in that the classic 4-3. I feel like they get wrestlers. Iowa's such a great wrestling state.
Yeah.
I feel like they get a bunch of heavyweight wrestlers, guys that really know how to use their hands well and work well in tight spaces. And they just try to hand-to-hand combat you out a lot. Now, they've played really well. They shut down Northwestern's rushing attack. They've given up 200 yards on the ground twice this year. One is Ohio State. One is Michigan State.
Michigan State is not the same.
No. I mean, and so there's an opportunity here to be able to reverse course on what happened last weekend. You look at those Penn State defensive linemen; they're like straight out of the SEC.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were really, really impressive. I thought that they were solid coming into this game and would be a really tough challenge. But the way that they got upfield penetration, they just picked their spots. It was like they chose when they wanted to get into the backfield.
And there were moments where you saw on the offensive line Penn State doing the same thing where it was, okay, we are going to go and create this hole. We're going to make, if we're getting outside, that's going to be there. There's going to be a lane, and it was hard to watch. And I still am a little worried, and maybe it's just because I know what historically Iowa's been, but I'm a little worried about that being the case again today. One other thing that Coach Alvarez says, I'm just going to paraphrase it. He said that there is no such thing as or he doesn't care about a marquee win, a statement win.
Yeah.
It is about generating consistency and consistently winning. Do you think that this could even be the marquee win for the Badgers season? Iowa?
I mean, if you're looking at the ones that are left.
Well,
right?
yes.
I mean,
but in general, is this the one that the Badgers fans, the faithful, can hang our hat on at the end of the season and say, we beat Iowa?
Out of your options that are left, I know that people gravitate toward the Axe game.
Right.
And Minnesota's playing pretty well today. Went and beat Illinois on the road. I know Illinois is coming off of a tough loss at Oregon, is maybe a little bit beat up right now, but they went into Champaign and beat a pretty tough-minded Illinois team.
Absolutely.
So I think that one will be a big challenge. You got Nebraska. You got the whole storyline with Matt Rule coming in, and are they ahead of where the Badgers are at in terms of their rebound? And can Dylan Raiola, freshman quarterback, lead them back to the promised land? And he is that guy, that they've managed to land. So I think that in their own way, all of these games could stand out. I'm not even holding out any hope in that Oregon game anymore.
No.
I'm going to be real honest.
It's my birthday. I want to, but I'm going to be enjoying Coors Lights.
Do it for G.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't know me. They're not interested in doing it for me. The Coors Lights will be flowing, and I'll be having the time of my life, no matter where I am.
That game's about the spread. I think that you win on the spread on that game. But so I will say that Iowa night game, as we talked early on in the show, chance to really set the narrative for the rest of the season. I think it matters more in season now than it will afterward as a quote unquote signature win. I just don't think it's a big enough test and challenge that you can say, oh, that's our signature win that we've been looking for forever. It doesn't meet that criteria for me. But I think that this is interesting the way that Barry characterized this. This gets into how fans and how people who've been around college football a long time are looking at what the scale is, scope and scale of this rebuild is under Luke Fickell. Like, everyone around here, you, me, others included, are like, why aren't they ready now? Why can't they execute, even on just one given night, that game that'll get your attention and give you hope? I think that people in football are a lot more patient, and they see what's happening here. They're seeing how long it's taking. They know how long it takes. It's 3 solid years. It's really a 4th year before you're getting the program to do exactly what you want it to do. That doesn't let Luke Fickell off the hook in terms of results this year, but I think it's just the mentality of we need something now that will get our attention and keep this accelerating toward the conclusion. Whereas I think people on the inside of this program, and you've seen it out of the players this year, they've come and they've played hard every game. They're not playing for this moment. That's a team that is back and is resilient and is committed to this effort over the long haul.
You said that a lot of the guys in football want to see 3 solid years. Well, I'm hoping to see 3 solid games. I think at this point, I'm out on the marquee win. I don't think Oregon's going to happen, but if we can get those other 3, Nebraska, Minnesota, and tonight against Iowa, the trophy games, that's where I can finally hang my hat on this season and be like, you know what?
Do you need all 3?
I want all 3.
Okay.
I don't know if I need them. Well, I don't know what I need, really. Like, I don't know if I need any of this.
But to
like,
validate the season.
Oh, yeah. I think that there would be it would be so important because the 4 teams are recruiting the same players.
Yeah.
They're going after the same caliber player. Now, right now, we're talking to some guys, some quarterbacks that maybe are outside of that realm that Minnesota's not even really trying. You know,
Nebraska's got their guy.
Yeah, exactly. But they know they don't need to worry about that. But I think that it can help you so much long term if you can go out there and get these 3 guys. Canopy Wealth Management carries a long-standing tradition of working in the best interest of their clients every single day. The team at Canopy emphasizes building local relationships and believe that values matter in strengthening their community. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity isn't just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. And starting coming up next is Good Call, Bad Call with our guy Primetime Wollersheim. It is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day presented by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com. Ends 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
The Jones family has its rules, just like any other family. Only difference is ours are about making the best tasting, highest quality breakfast sausage you can buy. One of our rules, we only use all natural ingredients. It's a mandate we've followed since the 1840s and will continue to do so for generations to come. Right here in Fort Atkinson. I'm Philip Jones. To learn more about the rules that make sure my family provides your family with the best tasting, highest quality breakfast sausage, visit jonesdairyfarm.com.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do, do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Your warehouse concrete floors see a lot of traffic. Uneven, sinking, or cracked concrete can pose a serious threat to any business operation. From trip hazards to cracked foundations, sinking concrete can keep any business owner up at night. Concrete Lifting Technologies is here to help. Concrete Lifting Technologies can even out that concrete floor to prevent these hazards. They can level your warehouse floor within a few hours and don't even need to shut down your operations. Visit itaintmudjack.com to get a free quote today. That's itaintmudjack.com.
ESPN Madison is your new home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
That's a statement win for Wisconsin.
Every single night, 7,000 plus, and they are in your face.
From early season showdowns to a run for the national title. Catch every match this season on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Wisconsin's where it's at.
Let's go see how high we can go.
Wisconsin Badgers volleyball on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Coors Light, Ridgetop Exteriors, Goodman's Jewelers, Carbon World Health, and North and South Seafood and Smokehouse.
Pizza Hut's wings are the best thing to happen to pizza night since, well, pizza. Introducing Pizza Hut's new Big Boneless Wing Bundle. For only $15.99, enjoy 16 crispy boneless wings in 2 different flavors, 2 dipping sauces, and a double order of fries. The wings are sauced and tossed to perfection and available in 9 flavors like honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and sweet chili. It's the perfect bundle for game days, girls' nights, family night, or any tailgate party. Order now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com.
We're on the Packers.
On Sunday, in the NFC, the 2 best teams are going to be playing.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
Got to take care of it at home.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
How I try, when I try, Lord, I try. I might drink a little, I might smoke a lot. Counting down the good times, staring down the clock. Throw some hallelujahs to the big man in the sky. Show up Sunday morning looking just like last night. Yeah, that's how I get by.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day presented by Coors Light. We are live at Liberty Station Smokehouse just off the Beltline and Rimrock Road as the Badgers prepare to take on Iowa and the Hawkeyes. It is a 3-point spread. The Badgers are underdogs in this one, and the Badgers are 1-3 in their last 4 matchups against Iowa. I'm excited. I'm still cautiously optimistic, and I'm actually pretty bullish on the passing game. I seem to be alone in that, and I understand why. It doesn't seem like the classic Big Ten West game, but the Big Ten West is no more. So with that, I think we're going to throw it to good call, bad call, and we're going to talk a little bit more about trophy games.
Is it a good call?
Because I love it.
Or a bad call?
You're the dumbest person alive.
Good call, bad call on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is brought to you by Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew, always a good call on game day.
I will say, guys, I made fun of producer Tiny Hands earlier, saying he had bad music loaded into this pregame show. Good call, bad call is open. Very good. Very good call.
You were jamming. I don't know if you're watching on YouTube at ESPN Madison, at ESPN Milwaukee. He's just getting after it.
Dude, how could I not? Honestly, that's a great, fantastic music. All right, guys, but let's see if we can get some fantastic or terrible calls today. And these are all calls based off of takes I've heard in the past 2 days. First one, I want to start with you guys, and Alex G., you might have a close connection to this one. There are too many Big Ten trophy games. Currently 17 Big Ten trophy games, and Jim, Matt, and Molly, weekdays 4 to 6 right here on 100.5 ESPN in Madison. Alex G. tried to list all of them during our Minute to Win It segment, and I believe you got the Badgers 3 trophy games, and that was it?
I got the Badgers, and I recognized another 1 or 2. Okay. Yes, you need to have something to spice up a rivalry, but 17 is insane. Not every team is really a rival. I understand that the history between Wisconsin and Iowa is so great, and they're good games, but man, I care about the Axe, and I care about the Freedom Trophy because I feel like that Nebraska, there's so much history to it. I like it. But
wait, the Freedom Trophy? You feel there's history to the Freedom Trophy?
Well, no, but the Nebraska rivalry.
I think the Nebraska-Wisconsin rivalry's only been going on since they joined the Big Ten in 2009 now.
Am I wrong? I remember hearing about Barry Alvarez coming to Camp Randall and getting an interception. Right,
but that was kind of a rarity.
Okay,
That was a rarity.
Okay, and so maybe that story has bolstered it in my mind. But
Barry doesn't mind talking about that one.
No, I brought it up on the Great Dane Huddle actually, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I ran because the article read that he got caught from behind by an offensive lineman." I was like,
no.
"Coach, how'd you let that happen?" And he said, "No. I was tired. I ran into him so that one man
so I could go down.
Right. I was either going to knock him on his butt or I was going to get tackled.
Oh,
And he
that's
ended up
beautiful.
getting tackled.
That's
So
beautiful.
No pick six
I
for
love
Barry.
that. I love that.
Yeah,
Sell it, Barry.
Good call. Too many Big Ten trophies.
That's hilarious. Coach Barry Alvarez pulling the Anthony Richardson excuse out of his behind. Incredible. Never thought I'd hear that one. All right, guys, the next one I'll throw to you, and this is across college football.
Mertzy, what did you say?
Oh, yeah.
No, that's funny. Actually, totally a good call. Intern Gabe and I were just talking about this off the air because he was lamenting his loss in the Two Truths and a Lie and just talking about the fictionalized trophies that we play for right now. But the point is that, like back in my day, we didn't need a trophy to make a game significant, but that's for real. The axe was cool because of the Paul Bunyan and the fact it was like a lethal weapon. But that's pretty awesome. But then you get into like these creations, with the Iowa. You're like, you already had a good rival. You don't need to symbolize it with anything. Nebraska won the birth of the Freedom Trophy. That happened during Gary Anderson's time here. And, obviously this is a marketing creation of the athletic departments. And Gary Anderson at his press conference, they asked him about it, and he's like, I don't understand why we have these things. And this was the unveiling of this trophy. And the coach is like, this is stupid.
Wait, okay. Is there? I forgot. We went through all 17 trophies during
17
Minute to Win
trophies,
It?
yes.
Did you get to the old Oaken bucket?
Oh,
Is
yeah, we
there?
did.
Oh, yeah, right. Purdue doesn't deserve to have a trophy game.
Right.
Is there one between Michigan and Ohio State? It's just called the game.
It's just the game.
Yeah, and that's the point, is that teams that play for championships don't need made-up trophies to get fans' interest. No, that's true. It's true. Like, if you have a championship to play for every year, why do you need some other symbol to play for? I don't know. That's just my hot take on it.
Ohio State does play Illinois for the Illabuck Trophy, so what does that say about Ohio State? What does that say?
That probably says more about Illinois.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They also play, I think, for the Purdue Cannon. That's their rivalry trophy with Purdue, which weird to have a trophy named after one of the teams. But anyways, all right, guys, we're running a little bit. We're running a little bit late here. We're running a little bit late here, so I'll skip my second good call, bad call. But I'll just get right to the final one because, guys, I can't believe how many times I heard this one around 11 a.m. today. The world famous Ohio State Buckeyes is the most annoying /nickname /title in all of American sports.
Oh my, that is wild. I am a very proud Packer backer. All right, I think that the story and the fact that we are named after a meat packing company is amazing, and I like that it is unique. There's nothing else like it. They are named after a nut. That's hilarious. That is amazing. Like everyone else is like, oh, even the Ducks are an animal. The Badgers are like an angry little vicious beast. And then they're like, nope, we fell from a tree, and like we're better than you. I love it. I'm totally here for it. Bad call.
Okay.
So I got a clarifying question for you, Prime.
Yep.
Now, are we talking about the world famous part or the Buckeyes part?
The world famous, Mertzy. Don't you know they're world famous?
My God.
Did you hear that enough?
True.
Did you hear that enough between
not
11
true.
to 2 today?
Hey, it's not true. So let's start with that it's provably false.
Yep.
And then 2, no, this will irritate DJ Tiny Hands, but America's team, the Cowboys. That's by far the most annoying. Far the most annoying. They are not. That's another falsity.
Sorry, but they have all lights on them for no good reason. It's not even like that. I don't know. They're just weird. I don't get it.
I hope Jerry stays alive forever and just keeps owning that team.
He just haunts them. He has a ghost.
Yeah, he will. That's the current side
like the
project.
Emperor in Star Wars. He just keeps living.
Yeah, he keeps going back to life.
Turned into the Force.
Would you guys say Ohio State is just the Dallas Cowboys of college football? Is that a good comp?
No.
No?
Because the Cowboys properly stink right now, and they're always predicated on one guy. I think last year you might have been able to make that conversation because Marvin Harrison versus and then their CeeDee Lamb. They had I don't know. I think that it feels more like Penn State because at least Ohio State's competing for things.
They haven't been to the college
Dallas
football.
Cowboys are not.
Ohio State, all they ever do is lose in the college football playoff. Just like the Cowboys, all they ever do is lose in the playoffs. But still, If you're losing every time and you're not getting over the hump, it's the same story, right?
It's a bigger deal to be a college football playoff team.
True.
Like that's
Fair.
like at least the championships.
But I mean, like Ohio State's won a title in G's lifetime. Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys have not.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I mean,
great point. Great point. It's a good call.
Maybe they can get out
Cardell Jones out there reveling in that victory.
Maybe the Cowboys can go over to Carbon World Health to get complete solution for fitness, health, and beauty. Their cutting-edge science and impeccable service, unlike anything you've ever experienced, redefine limitation with their state-of-the-art fitness facility and med spa. Visit carbonworldhealth.com for more information. And coming up next, we're going to have a beautiful scoreboard update by our guy Primetime, and then Pepsi Picks. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Kyle Walls here from ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Bruston Norman, and football season is back, and you know I'm watching every snap with the Underdog Fantasy Sports app in my hand. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward, and signing up is even easier. You make picks for your pick'em entry and choose if a player will go higher or lower when it comes to their stats. Maybe it's Jordan Love higher than 2.5 touchdown passes, or even Tyreek Hill lower than 150 receiving yards. Over 1 million fans got in on the action last season, and it is time for you to jump aboard. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app at UnderdogFantasy.com or sign up using promo code KBN, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code KBN to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Join me this football season and win big. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Wisconsin families are getting crushed today. We're paying more for food, clothes, gas than ever. Our open border has allowed over 10 million illegal immigrants into our country the last 4 years, driving up the cost of health care and housing for every one of us. What's more, it's allowed fentanyl to pour into our communities, killing our friends and family. Kamala Harris and Senator Baldwin's policies created all these problems. It's time for change. I'm Eric Hovde, and that's why I'm running for the U.S. Senate. For too long, these career politicians have failed our country. They're all talk, no action. I'm not anything like these people. I'm a business guy who lives in a world where actually solving problems matters. We need to lower the cost of food, close our southern border, build more affordable housing, and fix our healthcare system. I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message because it's time for change.
Paid for by Hovde for Wisconsin.
There's a good chance if you watch sports, you're getting served information about hormone optimization. What does that even mean? Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health can tell you exactly what hormone optimization means. He will take your blood work and let you know if it's right for you. If you're feeling sluggish, not losing weight like you used to, you're not gaining muscle like you used to, or you just don't feel like yourself in most aspects of your life, go see Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. In fact, sign up for the 6-week experience so you can see everything that Carbon World Health has to offer, including hormone optimization. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Whether you're in the market for a new or new-to-you vehicle, Metro Ford of Madison has the customer service that's second to none. Metro Ford is also the home of the 2 years no-charge maintenance offer on new vehicle purchases, making it the place to go for the new Ford of your dreams. Browse their inventory, schedule a service, or see this month's offers at metrofordofmadison.com. That's metrofordofmadison.com.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly opened Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Fish fry, walleye, and vegetarian options are available, and they have a menu that's sure to please everyone. Liberty Station smokes their meats daily with a 1,000-gallon custom smoker, giving you the freshest experience possible. Enjoy happy hour with daily discounts on both food and drinks at their large bar with 20 draft taps and multiple TVs to watch the big game. Be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area too. Liberty Station off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
From LA to Piscataway, this is your college football scoreboard update, driven by Metro Ford of Madison.
What's up, Madison? I am Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your scoreboard update. First, whipping around the Big Ten results from today, and in the big game out at Beaver Stadium, number 4 Ohio State chopping down the Penn State Nittany Lions 20-13. Penn State coming off that 28-13 win against the Badgers last week at Camp Randall. Badgers might have softened them up for that one, some are saying. Then continuing on, Oregon cruising past Michigan at the Big House. Oregon still the number 1 team in the nation and still undefeated, winning 38-17 in that one. And then Indiana recovering after a slow start against Michigan State, winning 47-10 in that contest. Might be on a collision course with the Ducks in the Big Ten championship game this season. Then Minnesota took down Illinois 25-17, Northwestern taking down Purdue 26-20, and then Nebraska crumbling on the final drive against UCLA, falling 27-20 on a last-minute Dylan Raiola interception. Nebraska now at 5-4 in the season after beginning 5-1. Badgers are going to be taking on the Cornhuskers at Memorial Stadium 3 weeks from now. And then the Badgers also coming up got Iowa. Badgers currently 3-point road underdogs against the Hawkeyes. Kickoff is at 6:30. Stay tuned right here on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Metro Ford of Madison, Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Learn more at metrofordofmadison.com.
Madison, Wisconsin is as good as it gets.
It's all about the Badgers.
Go Badgers! Go Badgers!
Games like this is what really separates college football from everything else.
Open up the history books. Here comes Rondell.
That was J.J. Watt, and what a story this young man is. Gordon again! What a performance by Melvin Gordon! And the pass rush gets home for the Badgers. Camp Randall lets it roar.
An unrivaled fan base, the best college sports town in the world. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Absolute anarchy across the Big Ten, as we just learned from our scoreboard update, and it's not just the Big Ten. Florida 20, Georgia 20. It is a good week to just be a fan of football, man. And in Wisconsin versus Iowa, it's going to be more of the same. We're all going to be excited, even if it's a slugfest, a slop fest. It's something crazy, it's something fun, it's something intense, and it's something meaningful because of all of these super impactful Big Ten trophies. Isn't that right, Adam?
Yeah, that's it. That's what drives me.
This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light. We're live from Liberty Station on just off the Beltline, and it is time for the Pepsi Picks.
All right, guys, you were just recapping it there, and in my scoreboard update, I already told you about all the big games that have happened because, guys, got to be honest, not many more games going on today. It's a weird one where apparently Fox not carrying any late-night games because they thought the World Series would go to 7 games. Unfortunately, the Yankees didn't show up in that one, so what are you going to do? But we got some other interesting games in the Big Ten also kicking off at 6:30. On the Big Ten Network, USC is 2-point road favorites at Washington. Guys, who you got in that one?
USC has been on a bit of a downfall. They've struggled a lot. No one has struggled more than Washington. I mean, they went from losing the national championship to losing against just about anybody. I think that the explosiveness and the fire that they can light on the outside with those wide receivers could just be too much for Washington to stand. I think that, if they're going to win, it's not going to be by 1 or 2. It's going to be by 8, 9, maybe multiple scores. So give me USC.
Mertz?
I'm crazy on this one. I'm crazy on this one. I don't know why. So I love watching Miller Moss. I think he's a fun quarterback. And you're right. They have talent. They have amazing talent up there. So I think that Jed Fish is actually doing a pretty decent job with given the hand that he was dealt with that Kalen DeBoer clearing out and a lot of the talent departing. But he's done an okay job sort of like trying to reestablish where they're at. And playing in Seattle at night that's traditionally a pretty tough environment to be in. I'm gonna say that the Huskies figure one out here. and shock the Trojans tonight at home.
Woof, woof.
Woof, woof, indeed. All right, well, talk about some underdogs. Louisville, 10.5-point road underdogs versus number 11 Clemson tonight. That's 6:30 on ESPN. Guys, Clemson number 11, they got crushed by Georgia in week 1. Since then, they've been on a tear. You think Jeff Brom, former Purdue coach, could keep up with them in this one?
It's Purdue. No. So I saw recently that if the college football playoff started today, Clemson would be in. And I think that they're hanging their hat on that. I think that there's a lot of excitement. I think that they see that. And while, yeah, there's a chance they overlook a team like Louisville, I think that they are in the process of practicing execution, not anything else, not, sleeping on anything. They are out there saying, okay, if we do this play against Bama, will it work? Let's see what it looks like in real time. So give me them to win in just a slaughter.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you. And the thing is like, you'll never say that. What did they lose, 34-3 to Georgia? I mean, it was embarrassing. That's not a good thing, but there was a wake up call there for that program about where they're at. They looked disorganized. They just felt like they were on a different plane than one of the elite teams in college football. They've sprung back from that moment. They've just stacked win after win after win, and they're looking more like a really, really solid team. Cade Klubnik's been delivering at quarterback. There's some chatter about him entering the Heisman race, even on the fringes of that. Might be a little bit overstated, but he's done a nice job for them, and I do think that Clemson wins this thing going away.
All right, guys, next one I got for you here, and I'll keep this one tight because we got to get out here. But number 10, Texas A&M, 3-point favorites on the road at South Carolina. This is the big game on ABC, also kicking off at 6:30. Guys, what do you think about this one? Aggies going to be able to get it done against the Gamecocks?
I want to make sure you have the time because you said you were right on this one. You were excited. So, Mertz, take it away.
I'm fascinated by whether the Gamecocks can put up something here tonight against a Texas A&M team that will probably be leaning on Marcel Reed again at quarterback. And South Carolina has played tough this year against some really quality, skill, talent opponents. They took Bama to the edge. I'm gonna go with A&M because I feel like they're just playing on a different level right now. But I think that's a huge challenge for that team to get through tonight for the Aggies.
So we're talking about covering or winning? Because covering,
I'm saying that. Oh, well, and we're -3. Do we want to budge that one way or the other? Because I could see that being a margin of victory, and I don't want to call a push.
Okay, we'll call it 3.5. 3.5.
3.5. I'm gonna. Okay, then I'm going Gamecocks.
I'm also going Gamecocks. And it's not because A&M's not going to win. I think that they're the better team. I think they're the more complete team all around. But every time they play a ranked opponent, they win by more. If they're playing a no-name, Arkansas, 4-point margin. Bowling Green, 6-point margin. Florida was unranked and that was 13. But they're letting people hang around.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's going to be the case again today. South Carolina, great team. I still think that A&M's going to win, and Carolina's going to be kind of that team that pushes you to the edge, just like they did against Alabama, but ultimately fall short.
All right, guys, last one I'll throw at you here quickly, and you got to answer right away because we got to get out here. Sacramento State is the only late game tonight, 8 p.m. kickoff, latest game in the college football slate on ESPN+, and they're taking on Portland State. Sacramento State, 13.5-point favorites in this one, guys. I know you know nothing about these two teams. Just give it to me blind. Who's covering that spread?
I think my stepdad went to Portland State for the first 2 years of undergrad. I'm going Portland State.
There you go.
My mom was born in the Portland suburb of Milwaukee with IE at the end of it. However.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a dude from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who founded the town out there, and he's like, I'm going to call it the same thing, but I'm going to differentiate with an IE.
Of course.
He should have called it New Milwaukee. What a loser.
That would have been awesome. But I'm not picking Portland. I'm going with Sacktown on this one.
Sacktown to cover 13.5, a 2-touchdown win.
I think they're just on fire lately. Gee.
I don't think
big Sacktown guy. Sac State. All right. Hey, I went to Ball State, so I know a thing or two about weird states. We're hoping that the Badgers can find a home in Kinnick Stadium this evening, and we're hoping that you can too. Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. For over 30 years, Bruner Realty has been providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get started today. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day presented by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Madison's financial challenges need a Dane County-based bank. Starion Bank is a full-service community bank that delivers quality big bank services with a local approach. We are proud to be there for any budding entrepreneur or small businesses, helping them exceed their financial goals from banking to lending to cash management. Visit a banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, taking you farther.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesh Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, service, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Hey, it's Matt Hamilton here, and as a proud Wisconsinite, I'm all about supporting local. And there's nothing more local than Metcalf's Market. Fall is in the air, and Metcalf's is your go-to for all things seasonal. From Wisconsin-grown carving pumpkins, pie pumpkins, and colorful gourds to the freshest apples from Munchkie Apples in Mount Horeb. Craving something sweet? You've got to try the Munchkie Apple Cider Donuts, made with those locally grown apples. Stop by their locations at Hilldale, near Westtown Mall, or in Wauwatosa. If you're looking for a gourd deal, look no further than Metcalf's Market, and bring local home.
Forward Madison FC has made the playoffs. Join us at Breeze Stevens Field on November 2nd at 6 p.m. as the Mingos host their first ever home playoff match. Be a part of history and bring the energy as we pack the stadium and get loud for the boys in pink and blue as they begin their playoff campaign. Bring out your whole flock and try our family special and get a match ticket, a meal, and an FMFC scarf for only $21 each. Get your playoff tickets now at forwardmadisonfc.com.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Like, share, and follow ESPN Madison everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more great content from ESPN Madison. This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Each autumn, a ritualistic struggle unfolds between the Hawkeye people and the Bajere people. The Hawkeye, a thick, burly clan nestled in the prairie, await the Bajere, also thick and burly. The Bajere chief elder enjoys the spoils.
The Bajares take on the Hawkeyes. Prime time. You've earned the name DJ Prime now, Ryan. Thank you so much for the Bajere back.
Glad I could supply that for you guys. Glad I could do that.
Oh, my goodness. Madison's financial challenges need a Dane County-based bank. Starion Bank is a full-service community bank that delivers quality big bank service with a local approach. Visit a banker at one of their branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, or Monona today, or online at starionbank.com. Starion Bank, taking you further, and we're taking you right up to kickoff. The Badgers, the Hawkeyes, 3-point spread. I'm so excited. I'm in on the Badgers win today. I know a lot of people are out on it. The national media, everyone was out on it except Nick Saban. Nick Saban has the Badgers winning this one, and so I'm with Nick Saban in this situation, and maybe just this situation. I don't know how he is as a person. Mertz, final thoughts before the game, which kicks off in 5 minutes.
You brought up a good point earlier about how important it is to get off to a good start in this game, and I think that the Badgers, they've obviously done a pretty good job of that in a lot of games this year. Iowa has not allowed any first quarter points at home in their last 6 home games. And that just shows again the defensive challenge that they present. They're not going to make it easy on you. You got to get moving in this game early. You don't want to be playing from behind in the blackout atmosphere at Kinnick.
Final score.
I actually have the Badgers winning 23-20.
I have the Badgers winning 20-9. This has been ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day presented by Coors Light live from the east side of Madison. Liberty Station in Madison.
Let's go
Thanks so much. Take care.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text EQUAL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text EQUAL to 321-321. That's EQUAL to 321-321.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law Offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law Offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law Offices make our community a better place.
They are the best. For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law Offices.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Wisconsin families are getting crushed today. We're paying more for food, clothes, gas than ever. Our open border has allowed over 10 million illegal immigrants into our country the last 4 years, driving up the cost of healthcare and housing for every one of us. What's more, it's allowed fentanyl to pour into our communities, killing our friends and family. Kamala Harris and Senator Baldwin's policies created all these problems. It's time for change. I'm Eric Hovde, and that's why I'm running for the U.S. Senate. For too long, these career politicians have failed our country. They're all talk, no action. I'm not anything like these people. I'm a business guy who lives in a world where actually solving problems matters. We need to lower the cost of food, close our southern border, build more affordable housing, and fix our healthcare system. I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message because it's time for change.
Paid for by Hovde for Wisconsin.